Bad endings. These are routes in games which are seen as suboptimal or tragic and are typically not canon to the intended story. To get all of these, you must make a fair bit of incorrect choices. These are usually in games to show potential futures where things didn't go so well for our protagonist, where the hero doesn't always win. Today, I'm here to discuss some of the worst bad endings I came across in gaming. Now, to preface, I won't be able to cover your favorite bad end, so if I miss anything, please let me know down below and I'll gladly make a part 2. And obviously, since I'm talking about bad endings, this is going to contain spoilers for certain games. With that being said, these endings are not ranked in any particular order, so I'll just list them off as I have them written down in my script. Aside from that, let's begin. The first bad ending is the femme fatale bad ending from Fate Stay Night's Heaven's Feel. Heaven's Feel is the third route of the visual novel Fate Stay Night. It revolves around our main character, Shiro Emiya, who is drawn into a Holy Grail war along with 6 other masters, and centers around one of the third main deuteragonist, Sakura Mato, as she is revealed to be the unwilling vessel of the corrupted Grail, with her trauma that manifests as a shadow that devours both humans and servants. After a bunch of shenanigans that I'm not bothered to explain in this very short video, Shiro Emiya is facing off against his former servant, Saber. You have the option to kill Saber. In this bad end, if Shiro chooses not to kill Saber, Saber runs off to recover and help her ally, which is a corrupted Sakura. Now, prior to Saber's arrival, Sakura was facing off against Shiro's ally and her sister, Rin. With Saber's help, Sakura defeats Rin and absorbs her into herself, which results in Rin suffering through all of Sakura's previous trauma until the end of time. What Rin was essentially experiencing was the assault and bugs penetrating her body which Sakura has experienced. Bear in mind, Rin is only around 16 years old, and this is alluded to in this image where Sakura scoffs at Rin's virginity. As for our protagonist, Shiro does come into contact with Sakura and is later absorbed into her as well, with his fate left unknown, no pun intended. However, what we do know is that his last memory is him hearing the screams and wails from Rin as she's crying from her assault. Jesus, man, I mean, these Fate games are known for their really gratuitous and dark bad endings. However, the Heaven's Feel route is typically known for being the darkest route out of the main 3, so it makes sense that this is here. Cyberpunk 2077 Devil Ending. While this ending technically isn't a bad ending, honestly, all the endings are bad in Cyberpunk, it serves as an alternative ending. However, due to the negative impact on the protagonist, I felt I should include it. For some context, in Cyberpunk 2077, our main character, V, has been given an engram with the memories of a previous legend in his city, Night City, called Johnny Silverhand, after a failed heist. This engram is, however, killing him. Thus, the main goal of V throughout the entire game is to get this engram removed and survive. To get this ending, you'd essentially have to side with the big bad of the game, shareholders. I'm joking. But you would have to side with corporations, which are responsible for why the world is so fucked up in Cyberpunk. In the devil ending of Cyberpunk, V chooses to trust Hanako Arasaka and side with the mega corporation of Arasaka Corporation. With Anako's help, you infiltrate Arasaka Tower and expose the current heir, Yorinobu's Arasaka, for murdering his father, Saburo. You essentially help Hanako retrieve her family corporate throne. After this is done, you are then taken to Arasaka Orbital Station, where the scientists attempt to cure the relics and engram's damage. And the procedure is successful, as Johnny Silverhand's engram is removed from your mind. However, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, as the damage that's already happened to your body is too much for you to be able to sustain long term. You, V, are then presented with 2 grim options. A, to sign a contract to have your mind stored digitally in Mikoshi, similar to Johnny Silverhand. This would effectively imprison your soul in a bunch of corporate servers, just until a new body is found, which you don't know when. Or B, return to Earth in your frail body with only around 6 months left to live, where you will die. Either you surrender your soul to the corporation or let the Reaper take you. This ending is particularly bad because it essentially puts you in a lose-lose situation at the hand of the same corporation that has ruined many lives and likely indirectly impacted your life as well. Silent Hill 2 Water Ending. Silent Hill 2 is a survival horror game which finds our protagonist James Sunderland journey through Silent Hill after the death of his wife. In this ending, it is revealed that James is the one who killed his wife, and instead of attempting to heal and move on, he instead sinks into despair. After receiving a final letter from his wife expressing her forgiveness, James decides to go for a drive. Due to letting his despair consume him, James instead decides to drive his car into Tolka Lake and unalives himself by drowning. Hence the title Water Ending. What's sad about this ending is that it's relatively realistic as well. Many people don't move on from trauma and grief or even past regrets. If anything, this ending is just as valid as the quote-unquote good ending, which are the ones typically seen as canon. Munch Odyssey Bad Ending. Munch Odyssey is a game in the Oddworld franchise, a series with themes of corporate exploitation, environmental destruction, and corporate greed. In this game, you play as both Abe and Munch. Munch is a gabbit whose species is being hunted for their eggs and lungs. Essentially, the objective of the game is to save other creatures and bring down the Gluckons, who are essentially the bad guys of the series. Now, this game operates on a karmic system, so the more you help others, the better the outcome for you yourself. To get this ending, you must save less than 50% of other fuzzles and get lower than 50% karma by the end of the story. In this bad ending, instead of a hopeful rescue mission, the fuzzles turn on you for failing to save them after they've been mutilated and tortured by the Gluckons. Hours later, we see that one of our protagonists, Abe, is decapitated with his head hung on the wall as a trophy. As for Munch, his fate is much worse. Remember how I said his species was hunted for their lungs? Well, we see that. The Gluckons perform a live surgery to remove Munch's lungs and his eggs while he is conscious with no anesthetic. As for you, the player, you get to see this as the camera pans towards his heart monitor, where we hear his screams over the sounds of buzzsaws and drills, and eventually his heart monitor comes to a screeching halt and he flatlines. Yeah man, this is intense. And could you believe this was for a kids game? Seriously, some scary stuff. Finally, we'll finish off with our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. This bad end comes from the Spider-Man vs. Kingpin game, which came out in 1991, which has Spider-Man attempting to stop Kingpin from launching nuclear bombs. Anyways, this ending revolves around Mary Jane. In the final battle with Kingpin, Mary Jane Watson is hung over a vat of acid, and it is up to the player as Spider-Man to defeat Kingpin and save her. And not only that, but you also need to prevent the nuclear bombs from launching. If the player takes too long in the fight, Mary Jane is dropped into the vat of acid and is dissolved in front of Spider-Man. But the game doesn't end there. As Kingpin is arrested, he taunts you over the death of Mary Jane, as Spider-Man is standing there left hollow and defeated. While he saves the city, he loses one of the people most precious to him. Then again, pain and suffering is just another Tuesday for Spider-Man, so I guess this ending isn't too bad compared to the others. Well, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Which of these endings was your favorite, and which of these have you already recognized before clicking on the video? If you want me to make a part 2, let me know down below. And please do mention any other bad ends you'd like me to make a video on. Aside from that, thank you, take care, and like and subscribe.